Okay? So we're going to change this up just a little bit. All right? The first thing I want to do is draw some lines so that we can separate this thing out. Okay? So you follow my lead and kind of do the lines like I'm doing them. Okay? That's what your ruler's for. Just a minute. I'm recording, so you can just wait a second, okay? So there's a line, and here's a line. And then I want you to put one line, and that's what your ruler's for, like this. Okay? Can you handle that?
My glasses are broke.
Okay, well, this is all you need. Okay, so now let's take a look at this and see what we've got. So we're only doing part of the problems, okay? Are you ready? Mm-hmm. So we're going to do B, and then I think we'll do D, okay? So cross off C, and what's the other one? E, cross off E, okay? Actually, I want to change my mind. Cross off D. I want to do E. It's a good one. So cross off C and D. All right. So these are the three things, okay? We're going to estimate. You can just put an E. We're going to divide. And we're going to check. Now remember, there's guess and check, and then there's check. Those are two different things. Guess and check is just me trying little problems to see what number is going to work. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that exit tickets haven't gone so well today. It's not that the kids are missing a bunch, it's that they can't even figure out what to do. So they're not finished. Okay? So I really need you to focus. I'm going to try my hardest to go slow. Okay? And let's see if we can get this thing accomplished. Sound good? Okay, step number 1 is to write the problem. Leave enough room to write your answer on top. Okay? So 730 divided by 32. Okay? Got the problem written? Yeah. The next step is going to be to estimate. So let's see what we think our answer is going to be close to. So write your lines. Now I'm going to round my divisor to 30. And my choices are round up to 900 or go down to 600. What do you think? 600's closer. Let's try that. So go ahead and write it down. So my answer will be somewhere close to 20. The most important part of this estimate is the 2. Why is the 2 so important? That's what we're going to try. Okay? Because we're not sure how many times 32 will go into 73. We're going to try a 2. So when I say we're going to try a 2, that means I'm going to take my divisor times 2. Now some of you can do that in your head, but I'm going to write it down. So 32 times 2. You either solve it or you write it and solve it. All right, so 2 times 2 and 3 times 2. That's going to work, isn't it? Okay, now, Caleb, focus. So the 64 is going to go into my problem, and so is the 2. Okay, where does the 2 go?
On top of the 3.
On top of the 3. And where does the 64 go?
Right under the 73.
Right under the 73. Now, kids, we've got a lot of regrouping with subtraction. So take a look at this, okay? 3 is less than 4. So we're going to have to go next door. So it's really going to be 13 minus 4 and 6 minus 6. So 13 minus 4, 9. 6 minus 6 is 0. I'm choosing not to write that 0. Are you with me? Okay. And then is 9 less than 32?
Yes.
So I can bring down my next number. Okay. Now, I know I see your little eyes thinking, okay? 32 times 3, what would that be? 96. Is that too big? Yeah. So we're going to have to go with what again?
2.
Another 2, okay? So where do I write the 2?
On top of the 7.
No,
0.
on top of the 0. Very good. And what do I write under the 90?
64.
64. Because 2 times 32 is 64. So our answer is pretty close to what our estimate was, 22 remainder something, right? Okay, so when you subtract here, don't write 34, because that's not your answer. You have to go next door. So what's my answer?
26.
26, okay? So my remainder is 26. Everybody write it. Okay, now I'm going to find the lightest color of highlighter I can find. Maybe this light, whoops, one pin though. I want to get on highlighter. Let's see if this light pink is pretty light. Okay, now do you remember how we highlighted in the shape of a triangle yesterday? Okay. Can we still see that? Totally. Totally. Okay? So go ahead and highlight in the shape of a triangle. Somebody tell Alasia why we don't highlight the remainder up here.
It's because
Quentin?
the remainder is the same as the answer down below.
So we are going to add the remainder last when we check this problem. Okay? What's the opposite of division? Multiplication. What's the opposite of subtraction? Addition. So we're going to multiply and add. And here we divided and subtracted. Okay? So what am I going to multiply together?
32 and 22.
Good. And we're going to put 32 on top. And what kind of multiplication is this?
2.
Now, somebody came up to me and they said, I can't remember the X's and O's. I just can't remember. So if you want to draw the collar and lay the egg, you can. Okay? You don't have to draw the turtle head, but you have to know what to do. So we're going to go through it again. 2 times 2.
4.
3 times 2.
6.
X's and O's. But really, there's just one of each. Okay? Now do the same thing again. 2 times 2.
4.
And 3. Whoops. I'm getting ahead of myself.
6.
Okay. Go ahead, Quentin, and turn that air down so it kicks on, please. I heard somebody say they were hot.
All the way.
No, halfway. Or wherever. Just go a little bit more. It'll kick on. 6 plus 4 is what?
And put the 1. 6.
Okay. So what's my next step?
Add the remainder.
Add the remainder. And I wrote too big, didn't I?
Yes.
Okay, so plus 26. Gosh, I hope it ends up being 730.
It is.
Oh, good. Okay, so now we've got a number that matches the dividend I started with. Okay, now if you're too hot, take off your sweatshirt. Okay, so what's my answer to this problem?
22 remainder 26.
22 remainder 26. So go ahead and write the answer. Okay, how you feel about that?
Pretty good.
Not bad, not bad. Let's keep going, okay? So down to the next one. I said we were going to do E, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to erase a little bit of this so it's not in my way. And if you need to do that, go ahead, okay?
You're lucky you can do it once.
Okay, so 704 divided by 46. Okay, now, do you remember yesterday when I said sometimes it's not even worth it to estimate? Because I can figure out what to do if I just get started. Okay? So draw your box, and on this one, we're just going to get started. We're not even going to mess with estimating. Because I can figure out How many times 46 is going to go into 70? How many times? Once. Okay? So there's no reason to estimate anything right now. We're going to put a 1 above the 0. And then what is 1 times 46?
46.
Now this is where you need to subtract correctly. So everybody do your subtraction. Let's see if you did it right. Did I do it right?
Yeah.
Okay. So is 24 less than 46?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to bring down my...
Yeah.
Okay. So now we got some thinking to do. Okay? So I want to show you how. Don't zone off. Pay attention. This is my strategy. I bet it was Miss Beatrice's strategy too. I'm just going to look at it. How many times does 4 go into 24?
None. 0.
I'm going to say the question again. How many times does 4 go into 24? 6 times, right? 6 times 4 is 24. But this is 46. So that's more than 40, right? So should I try a 5 or a 6?
6.
Okay, let's start with a 6. So 46 times 6. Everybody do the math. Write it down over where we would have been estimating right now. Actually wrote it too high, but it's okay. Okay? Kato, why is your pencil not in your hand?
I'm adding it.
No, you're not. Write it down. Uh-oh. So that starting place that I got when I said, how many times does 4 go into 24? Was that starting place too big?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. So what should I try instead of a 6?
5.
A 5. So everybody write down 46 times 5.
A 5 is gonna.
Okay? Max thinks 5's going to work.
A 5 is gonna make it out alive.
Okay. That was a rhyme. Okay, so now I've got 2 important numbers. I've got a 5 and a 230. So which number goes on top? The 5. Above which number?
4.
Above the 4. And what do I write down at the bottom below 244?
230.
230. And now I get to subtract, and it's easy. Okay? So here's what we've got. Remainder 14. Okay, we need to make sure 14 is less than 46, and it is. Okay, now pick up your highlighter. And we're going to highlight the divisor, the quotient, and the remainder. You can see it on your paper. So what am I going to write down, boys and girls?
46 times 15.
Good. And you're going to do turtle head multiplication. So 6 times 5. What is it? Pretend you don't know how to do this. 30. Okay. 4 times 5.
20.
Plus 3.
23.
Thanks for pretending with me. Now, do you notice, I'm not going to draw it, but did you notice that matches right here? Yeah, so it looks like we're on the right track. Now what do I do? X's and O's. Don't forget X's and O's. Now, tell me.
1 times 6.
And
4 times 1.
add that up.
That equals 68.
What? I multiplied. Did you see that, guys?
Oh.
I did 2 times 4 instead of 2 plus 4. Whew, that was a close
We ended
one.
up in thousands.
I would have. Okay, so now my last step, what's my last number here?
14.
So the last thing I do is add that in. Because remember, addition is opposite of subtraction. And I hope it's going to be 704. Okay, how you doing? All right, so now what I want to do is we're going to go ahead and solve a couple of the homework problems for more practice. Okay? So turn to the homework page, and it's going to take me a second to get there. I think it's right here. All right. So same thing as before. You remember what we did with the lines? Yeah, we're going to do 2 of these problems. So we're going to need some lines on here. One of the lines is horizontal. And we've got 2 vertical lines, just to separate it for us. And then I'm going to pick out which problems we're going to do. So how long is it going to take you to get that drawn? Not very long? Okay, I'll pause it while you're drawing. Okay, so let's cross off C and E, and we're going to do B and D this time. Bless you.
Wait, which one?
Cross off C and E. So step 1, write the problem. Okay. Step 2, estimate. Remember how I said sometimes it's easier just to get started?
Yeah.
This is one of those times, because I know my 15s. Do you know your 15s?
Yeah.
Pretty much. So we know 15 times 2 is what? 30. Okay. So what would 15 times 3 be? 45. And if you didn't know, could you do it? I didn't think 30 was big enough, so I tried a 3. Where do I write the 3?
Eight.
Okay. And what do I write below?
45.
And then subtract. Okay. Can I bring down my 5?
Yes.
All right. Now I already know that 3 is too big. So what am I going to have to use?
2.
A 2. Can you do 15 times 2 in your head?
Yes.
And if you can't, is it okay to just do it on paper? Totally. Okay? So, what's your remainder on this problem?
5.
Remainder 5. Okay, so did we estimate or did we just get started? A lot of times it's easier to just get started if you can do the little math in your head to figure out how many times 15 goes into 48. Okay? All right. So now, what do I do?
Check it.
Check it. So I'm going to multiply and add. Go ahead and put your 15 on top.
I'm going as fast as I can.
And this is turtle head. So give it a try. I'm going to pause it for a minute. So you check yours with mine, okay? Oh, that was pretty simple, wasn't it? Okay, and what's my last step here?
Add the 5.
Make sure I've got my 3 numbers in there. Okay, I think rather than doing D, I want to skip over. No, I don't think D is going to take us very long. Let's do it. Okay, so D is 399 divided by 31. This is another one where we're just going to get started. Because I'm looking at it right away, I can tell that I know how many times 31 is going to go into 39. Did you put a box around 39?
Box.
Okay. So how many times will 31 go into 39? One time. And that's going to be 31. And I think the person that said 8 was a little bit ahead of me
Yeah.
because they were already subtracting. Okay? So you got this written down. Okay? Can I bring down my 9?
Yes.
Okay. Now here's what I know. This is my thinking. 30, 60, 90. So 30 times 3 would be 90. 31 times 3 is going to be higher than that. Right? So 3 is too big.
62.
So I'm going to have to do a 2. And if you want to do it in your head, that's fine. But I'm going to show you how to write it down. Okay? So what goes on top of this 9 Serenity?
2.
Very good. And what goes below 89 Jada? 62. I think I heard her.
Yep, she said 62.
Okay, now let's subtract and see if our number is too big. Is it too big? No. 27 is still less than 31. So that's my remainder. Okay, so now it's time to check it. Okay, 31 times 12. Everybody do that problem. I'm going to pause it. Okay. We're doing okay here?
Yep.
Okay. So what's my answer to this problem?
3999.
No.
12 remainder 27.
12 remainder 27. Okay. So I want to do one more because it's going to help you on your exit ticket. Sound good?
Good.
Okay. So turn the page. I'm going the other way. Right here. Put a star beside F. If you can't make a star, just circle it or whatever you want to do. But go find problem F. Okay? Same format here. 614 divided by 50. Now I think I have a guess. But I want to take a look at it. How many times do you think 15 is going to go into 61?
4.
4?
5.
Okay, let's try it. So 15 times 4. Some of you can do that in your head, can't you? Oh, that's so nice.
Oh.
I love it when that happens.
I wanted to try.
Okay, so what do I write on top?
4.
4.
Oh, that's right.
And what do I write on the bottom?
60.
60. Now this is very important, boys and girls. I brought a number down and I don't have enough to divide. So that's what most of the kids did. They did this and it was wrong. Yep. So they forgot the most important part of this whole problem. If I can't divide, I need a number to show I can't divide. What is it, class?
0.
Very good. You have to have that 0 there. And then you can write your remainder. Now, the second one on your exit ticket is just like this. Okay? So now when I check this one, it's a short little problem, but I still need to check it. Look up here. Is it easier to do 15 times 40 or 15 times 4 and add a 0 to the end.
Yep, both ways.
Okay? So you can do it however you want, but I'm writing it like this. Take my 0 off, put it back on. 5 times 4 is, and 4 plus 2 is,
6.
and if I add my remainder, what is it?
6, 1, 4.
Oops,
I need
threw that to the wrong place. Huh?
I need ketchup.
Now, what have I asked you to do? Make sure you've got all 3 numbers in your problem that you wrote when you checked it. This is very important. The second one on your exit ticket has a 0. You with me? That was too much help, but I gave it to you anyway. Okay, so let's look at the exit ticket. And that's going to be down here. Okay? You got 2 problems. Totally draw the lines if you want to. Okay? Try not to hum, please. If you draw the horizontal line, I would do it way down here, right above B. Okay, now you're going to have about a little over 20 minutes, 15 minutes to do this. So step 1, write the problem. Okay? Step 2, estimate. What should I round 19 to?
20.
What should I round 413 to? 400. So, what am I going to try? 20. No, but what's most important? The 2. So what do I take times 2? You think you can finish that problem? Okay, so I forgot one very important thing. We better put a box around 41. Okay? You good?
Yeah.
Okay, you can finish that in a minute. Look down at the next one. This one, let's not estimate. And you'll see why once we write it down. Oh, by the way, and this is the one with the star. Why did I choose not to estimate on this one?
Sometimes it's better just to do it.
Well, why is it better just to do this?
It's big.
How many times will 67 go into 70? Once. Okay. Can you finish that problem? All right, bring these to me when you're done. And if you don't finish now, we'll find time later. Just do your very best.